All right, breaking in at this point in time, a local court in Kolkata has found Sanjay Roy, a civic police volunteer, guilty in the gruesome rape and murder case of a trainee doctor at the state-run Arjikar Hospital. Mr. Kirti Azad is joining us at this point in time to give his reaction to this verdict. Mr. Azad, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us, sir. So 10 years for Sanjay Roy. And of course, a number of people are unhappy the way this verdict has turned out. All right, we'll have Mr. Azad join us momentarily. Sambhav, my colleague, is joining us at this point in time. Sambhav, if you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
All right, Sambhav, 10 years for Sanjay Roy. This is obviously, according to the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that deals with rape, murder, and eventually causing death. Of course, the court did not find this crime to be the rarest of rare to accord any more punishment than 10 years.
Well, yes, the Central Bureau of Investigation has demanded capital punishment, serious punishment for Sanjay Roy, the prime and the sole accused in this matter, and CBI has filed its charge sheet earlier in this matter in the lower court, and today finally the court has come up with the judgment. It's incident happened on 9th of August, and today on January 18th is the judgment wherein the court has convicted Sanjay Roy in this case, and let's talk about the charges. Under which Sanjay Roy has been convicted by Sialdah Court, a local court, a sessions court in West Bengal, wherein the additional district and session court convicted Sanjay Roy of sections of rape, murder, and causing death. So these are the sections under which Sanjay Roy has been convicted by the lower court, the sessions court in Sialdah, and reactions are coming from across the country. Well, it was very much expected that such kind of verdict would come from the court, as this case has garnered a lot of attention, lot of hype in the country, and lot of outrage in the country as it unfolded, and the Supreme Court has taken
Okay, let me also rope in our guest who are joining us at this point in time, Mr. Tanuj Dikshit, Supreme Court lawyer, with us on the program. Dr. Aseem Mehti of the Arjikar Hospital with us on the program as well. Dr. Arindam Biswas from the R.N. Tagore Hospital joins us on the show as well. Mr. Dikshit, what do you make of this verdict, considering the fact that this was quite a high-profile case? There seems to be a sentiment that the quantum of punishment does not correspond to the gravity of the crime, or rather, the way in which this entire episode unfolded.
See, on the day it has the charge with the anticipation and the trepidation, the Sialdah Court complex of Kolkata have already stood the center of the nation attention, because the judgment of the brutally raped and murdered trainee doctor has been out now. That already the one Sanjay Roy has been convicted under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita section 64, 66, and also he has been convicted. Now this has been already, the judgment has been out, and as we know that West Bengal is expected to deliver after 162 days of the this incident occurred. So this case was absolutely, the case pertains to a 31-year-old trainee doctor who was found dead in the seminar hall of the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata on August 9, 2024. The trainee doctor was allegedly killed after being raped, and this was the seriously the Steldia court is likely to that the judgment has been out by the judge there, and now the things has been, the charge sheet filed on the October 7th. More than 10 people have been done with the polygraphic test in this case, and this is the what we actually have only one person who is convicted in this case. It's a big question that how this CBI investigation has been done, where the other people which are supposed to be there case are not present into the reports. Yes.
All right, well, some breaking news coming in. Well, the judge has stated that the accused will be heard on Monday. The accused is being sent to judicial custody till then. His punishment will be announced on Monday at 12:30. The Sessions Judge, Anirban Das, has clarified that the minimum possible sentence would be life imprisonment, while the maximum sentence could be the death penalty as well. Sambhav, my colleague, is with us on the broadcast at this point in time. Sambhav, of course, the judge saying that the actual quantum of punishment is going to be announced on Monday at 12:30 p.m.
Well, yes, generally this is how it happens, and the exact quantum of punishment will be decided by the court in detail order on Monday. And for the time being, the court has convicted, and it is very much clear now that Sanjay Roy has been convicted in the rape and murder of a 31-year trainee doctor in the Ajika rape and murder case. It is clear now, the quantum of the punishment will be clear very soon. That is, the court has said that on Monday they'll decide on the quantum of punishment, whether it get a life or a life imprisonment or other kind of other capital punishment. It is to be seen, and so far the things are very much clear, and it was very much expected from the court. The sentiments were very high. People were very much like the slogans, sloganeering happening in outside the court in Sialda, and it was very much expected because even the Supreme Court of the country, the top court of the country, took the suo moto cognizance of this matter on 18th of August. On 20th of August, the Supreme Court did first hearing in the matter, and that too the then Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chanchud, grilled the Central Bureau of Investigation over the kind of investigation being done, questioned the Kolkata police, the Bengal police, and questioned different lawyers who were appearing for this Central Bureau of Investigation or the Kolkata police, and set up a committee and formed the guidelines for the safety and security of the doctors. So this case has garnered a lot of attention nationwide and also globally. And the verdict was very much expected, and it is to be seen what the court says next on Monday.
All right, more breaking news coming in. The Sessions Judge, Anirban Das, has clarified that the minimum possible sentence would be life imprisonment, while the maximum sentence would be the death penalty, is what we are learning at this point in time. Dr. Arindam Biswas of the R.N. Tagore Hospital with us on the show. Dr. Biswas, if you can hear me, thank you for joining us. Obviously, the judge is going to clarify what exactly the quantum of punishment is going to be by Monday, 12:30 p.m. But so far, looking at the gravity as well as the sensationalism attached to this case, are you happy with the outcome?
Certainly. As a citizen of India, as a doctor, losing a fellow doctor in a macabre incident obviously will make me happy that the culprit has been identified, the judgment has been delivered, but we will wait for the quantum of the punishment, whether it will be a capital punishment or a life imprisonment. That time will tell, and on Monday it will be very clear that what is going to happen, what will be the fate of the culprit Sanjay Roy. But can I make one statement, please, apart from the case? I heard your journalist talking to a person who commented against a community. As a Bengali, I strongly condemn against any comments, any derogatory comments against Bihari or UP. A person can be a criminal, but a community can all be criminalized. So I strongly oppose such gobbledygook comments. So please allow me this. Thank you for allowing me to comment on this. But with regard to Sanjay Roy case, let us not make the case very esoteric. Let us be focused. Let us not be very boisterous. Yes, a macabre incident took place. A lady doctor lost her life. She was raped. She was violently murdered. Now the day has come when the judgment has been delivered. It will give peace to the families of the victim, as well as peace to all the people who fought against the Tilottama incident. They wanted justice. There was no politics in that. Apart, keeping politics apart, we wanted a judgment in this case. CBI has done their job assiduously. They had focused on their case. They identified the criminal with the help of the evidence they gathered. Now the case is clear. I am happy as a doctor, happy as a citizen, happy as a law-abiding citizen that at last judgment has been delivered.
All right, let me also rope in Dr. Methi into this conversation. Dr. Methi, if you're there with us, sir. So you wanted to make a point. I've seen you raise your hand multiple times. Go ahead, sir.
No, actually, the doctor is totally biased, I think, right from the beginning of the incidents, because I are in the scene most of the time in Arjikar Medical College, and I have followed through that. All the Calcutta police has totally destroyed the evidence, the initial evidence, not only the dead body, post-mortem, everything has done very planful murder and planful destruction of the evidence. And CBI just done the rest of the jobs. Those who have completed the Calcutta police handed over on the fourth day. They completed the and stamped it out that Sanjay Roy is the main culprit. This is not so. He may be a partner of this, but I think Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, who is the main culprit principal, along with some his courtiers and others, were totally involved. If it was supposed to be a detailed investigations and very fair, it is totally unfair investigations, and the verdict will be definitely.
Why do you think it's unfair, sir? Why do you think this investigation is unfair? Is it because of the pressure of the case?
Yes, pressure of the government and pressure of the Sastha Bhavan and others also, and the local political leaders. As if you followed that, the local political leaders were also involved. The local MLA, the councillor, everybody, even the Obijit Mondal, who is the main culprit also, and the DC South, DC Central, and the Binit Goyal, he was never asked who has destroyed totally, planfully the total evidence of the year. And their parents, actually, always parents are not satisfied at all. They went against the all. Even they lost the complaint 16 hours after the incident. Could you imagine? And the parents were not allowed to see their daughter's dead body even for they deferred for 8 to 10 hours.
All right. At this point in time, Mr. Aman Lekhi, senior advocate, also joins us on the show. Mr. Lekhi, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. I hope you can hear me. Mr. Lekhi?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Right. Absolutely, sir. So first up, your reaction to the outcome of this case. So far, whatever we have heard from experts and people who are connected to this matter say that this is obviously a high-profile case. Justice and the quantum of justice, and the flexibility as well as the sensitivity around the verdict given is going to be crucial.
It's a criminal case, again, another criminal case, but peculiar in the sense that it's actually symbolized a collapse of law and order. And I say collapse of law and order because of what one of the panelists was just mentioning when I joined, the failure to prevent, detect, register, which led to the transfer of the investigation to CBI in first place. And the attendant circumstances created doubt of the seriousness of the police in the first instance to deal with the matter. That said, surprisingly, and I do not know the reason why, as far as the charge sheet is only against Roy. As far as the other persons are concerned, the question of destruction of evidence. Now, the destruction of evidence would actually point also to some conspiratorial design, but I'm sure as far as the CBI is concerned, for reasons it must have investigated, it must have left the others out. That said, insofar as this particular case is concerned, it's an aggravated form of rape in the peculiar circumstances because the gentleman was a civic volunteer of the police, connected in some way politically, insofar as empowered. And the incident actually happened in the hospital, and that too with a doctor. And the circumstances cumulatively suggest that as to the crime is concerned, it was of the most extreme magnitude. The penal code itself prescribes a maximum punishment. As far as that is concerned, it's for the court to decide. And the verdict having been rendered, the offences being punishable with death, I feel if the circumstances are conclusively established, that would be the appropriate punishment. However, there's some reports where there are mobs outside saying that there should be death, and as that aspect is concerned, I think that requires check and correction, because that would be a form of vigilantism, as the law should be allowed to take its course, and whatever is warranted in the circumstances must necessarily be imposed as a punishment.
Mr. Lekhi, what do you think happens next? Obviously, there is going to be an appeal against this particular verdict, but let us not forget that this is a very serious matter. We've had rape cases in this country in the past as well, which have been closely followed, and they have been in fact instrumental in determining how the law in fact addresses the concept of rape in our country.
Well, first it will be sentencing. Depending upon the sentence, it will be the procedure, because if there's a death, it will be confirmation. The matter will actually go in appeal. The appeal and the confirmation will be seen. What course it will take depends upon what actually happens, whatever the date fixed for the sentencing, which is bound to follow. As the law is concerned, the law is clear as to the punishment, where the punishment, because this is an aggravated form of rape leading to death, murder. So this is, as the death is one of the punishments which the law prescribes. You mentioned the close pursuing of this particular matter. That has got its advantages and disadvantages both, as far as this aspect is concerned, because in some way it shuts the door out for a person who is accused of an offence for a fair hearing in court, with virtually the whole world bleeding down the neck of whoever is actually concerned with the matter, for the purposes of creating that kind of pressure that justice can only go in one direction, which is what the collective decides. I don't approve of that particular method, but that is a debate for a different point altogether. As far as this case is concerned, because the court, on examining what I got to know is 50 witnesses, and till now there's absolutely no grievance as to the legal safeguard which legitimate a fair trial having been violated. I presume that the verdict has been rendered is one on due consideration of whatever other facts. And in the circumstances, if it's in fact proved, the punishment warranted has necessarily to be the most extreme punishment which the statute permits.
So, what about the magnitude of this case? This was a particular case which made national headlines. How does that, impact, the sensitivity or the nuances surrounding this case?
As far as the case is concerned, the case is not impacted by the noise which is happening around. The case, for a case to proceed, has to actually proceed on the merits of what the case actually is. And for that, you have to confine yourself to the facts as has been investigated and presented before the court, and to which the court has applied its judicial mind. Yes, as a country, as a nation, as a concerned populace, the fact that incidents like these happen and the circumstances in which this particular incident happened is in fact rather dastardly. And I say dastardly not only because of the heinous nature of the offense, but the manner in which the political system was closing around to protect, actually initially, about whom there was a popular conception of being directly involved in that particular exercise. So what actually should motivate us to think is not only measures, because this happens repeatedly, to prevent incidents like this, but the Supreme Court also considered in its hearing for that. But the larger issue here, as far as some crime which has got some kind of political patronage, as to how is it that we deal with it. The national concern here is necessarily to focus on both aspects. One, the endemic nature of this particular offense, which every once in a while raises its ugly head, and all of us then in fact consider as to what is it that we have to do to prevent it, but somehow these incidents yet recur. So why is it that these incidents are recurring is something we have to see. But the larger issue would be in cases like these, when an already serious case becomes worse, the manner in which there are political overtones to the entire exercise. In that event, our attention has necessarily to be on the latter aspect more than the first aspect, because that compromises the legal system as such. So I think as far as our concern is concerned, as far as the matter is there, the matter will go in terms of whatever the procedure is prescribed. But as far as the national interest is concerned, the national interest will actually be divided both on the recurrence of this particular recurrence of these particular offences, and also the manner in which this specific offence actually took place.
Mr. Lekhi, appreciate you took out the time, sir, and spoke with us. Thank you so much for those valuable insights. All right, at this point in time, Shamshavish Rain, lawyer, also joins us on the broadcast. Dr. Kiya Gupta, Senior Medical Officer, Department of Gastroenterology Tagore Hospital, also with us on the show. Shamshavish, I'll begin with you. Your first thoughts on what's transpired here. Obviously, justice has been served, but has it been served with the right amount of dash and the right amount of certainty that this person deserves to go to jail?
Yes, of course. Honorable Court has, of course, seen all the documents, have gone through the complete case, and then they have given a judgment wherein they think that this person should go behind the bars. So this is a wonderful thing, and I am happy that within a very short period of time we have a judgment out. As of for now we are waiting for the time period that whether this person would be given a death or life imprisonment in this matter. So that is something that we all are waiting for. So if in case the court thinks that the case falls under the rarest of rare case, so then the death would be given, or else it would be a life imprisonment, since it is not only rape, it is a murder as well. So in case it is death, so then the confirmation would go to the High Court. High Court would be confirming it, and then the accused has a right to go to the Supreme Court and then to the President of India. So that's again a very long process. It takes years in that. If in case the court feels like to hear the matter soon and then give a judgment soon, it's on them. Otherwise, like in Nirbhaya gang rape also, wherein the court saw that the case falls under the rarest of rare case, wherein the body was brutally damaged. So it took around 8-9 years for the President of India to also confirm that the death should be there. So let's see how the court finds the matter, whether this matter is under rarest of rare case or a normal murder and a rape case. But yes, looking at the circumstances that what happened here in India, that there was a lot of hue and cry, and everyone were out on road that how could this kind of a situation happen. So in order to curb that such kind of a similar thing does not happen again, that if in case the court gives them only life and not the death, so the court might give death, but then the court, if the honorable High Court or the Supreme Court thinks that the case does not falls under rarest of rare case, it's on them. They can actually convert it to a life imprisonment, so that the people do not come back out on road and become angry for giving only life imprisonment. But also at the same time, justice is also served, because these judgments are where a landmark judgment has been passed, wherein because of these kind of judgments, different matters also get affected. So let's see how things court actually looks into.
All right, Dranik, my colleague, also joins us at this point in time. Dranik, अगर आप मेरी बात सुन पा रहे हैं? हाँ। Dranik, 160 पेज का जजमेंट है, जिसमें जज ने इस वर्डिक्ट के साथ साथ ये भी कहा है कि पुलिस और अस्पताल की जो अथॉरिटीज़ हैं, जो शासन है, उनकी जो गलती है उसको लेकर भी एविडेंस सामने आया है, जिसकी वजह से काफ़ी कन्फ्यूजन हुआ, काफ़ी आलोचना हुई। पर अब ये मामला एक सेटलमेंट की तरफ जा रहा है, एक वर्डिक्ट की तरफ जा रहा है। आप क्या बता सकते हैं हमें?
हाँ, एकदम देखिए, शियालदा कोर्ट की तरफ से आज जो फैसला सुनाया गया है, उस फैसला में 162 पेज का जो फैसला है, उस फैसला में शियालदा कोर्ट की तरफ से आरजीकर मेडिकल कॉलेज का रेप एंड मर्डर मामले पर सीबीआई का जो जांच है, उस जांच पे जो निकला है, उस जो एविडेंस निकला था, उसको लेकर भी जिक्र किया है। और ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण जो चीज़ है कि पहला दिन से जो सवाल आ रहा था कि कोलकाता पुलिस का जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन था, क्या वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन सही था? क्या वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन को देखते हुए वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में या तो कोलकाता पुलिस की तरफ से हो या हायर ऑफिशियल्स की तरफ से किसी भी तरीके से ये एविडेंस को टेम्पर किया गया था, उसको लेकर भी आज ये फैसला में कहा गया है कि एविडेंस को बहुत सारे हेरफेर किया गया है। जैसे कि सीबीआई ने जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में सामने आया है। दूसरी तरफ अगर देखा जाए तो संजय रॉय को आज जब कोर्ट में पेश किया गया था, जब उनके सामने फैसला सुनाया जा रहा था, ठीक उसी टाइम पर संजय ने रो पड़ा है। और जैसे कि संजय रॉय को जब फैसला सुनाया जा रहा था, वो तब चिल्ला के बोलने लगा था कि मैं दोषी नहीं हूं। और एकदम आरजीकर मेडिकल कॉलेज का रेप एंड मर्डर मामले पर जिस तरीके से पहले दिन से संजय रॉय के ऊपर नजर था, और आज भी संजय रॉय ने कोर्ट रूम के अंदर में बताया है कि मैं दोषी नहीं हूं। मगर दूसरी तरफ जो जस्टिस है, जस्टिस की तरफ से एकदम स्पष्ट कर दिया गया है कि संजय रॉय ही दोषी है। जो एविडेंस मिला है वो एविडेंस के आधार पर संजय रॉय दोषी है और संजय रॉय के खिलाफ में 3 धारा में संजय रॉय को दोषी ठहराया गया है, ऐसा शियालदा कोर्ट की तरफ से कहा गया है। शियालदा कोर्ट की तरफ से 3 धाराएं लगाया गया है। सेक्शन 64 यानी रेप का चार्जेस लगाया गया है। सेक्शन 66 डेथ आफ्टर रेप इसका धाराएं लगाया गया है। और उसके साथ साथ ही 103(1) जो मर्डर का धारा है वो लगाया गया है। भारतीय नागरिक न्याय संहिता का BNS का जो ये धारा है, ये 3 धाराएं लगाया गया है। दूसरी तरफ अगर देखा जाए तो संजय रॉय का ये जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन, सीबीआई ने जिस तरीके से इन्वेस्टिगेशन को आगे लेके जाया है, इसको लेकर 162 पेज का ये जो फैसला में बहुत सारे जगह में जिक्र भी किया गया है कि कोलकाता पुलिस की तरफ से सही तरीके से इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं किया गया था। इस तरीके का जो बात ये वो भी कहा गया था। और फिलहाल मैं एक बार कोशिश करूंगा आपको दिखाने के लिए कि शियालदा कोर्ट के सामने ठीक जो तस्वीर आपको दिखाने का कोशिश करूंगा, जिस जगह में कुछ देर पहले ही संजय रॉय को दोषी ठहराया गया है। एकदम शियालदा कोर्ट के बाहर का तस्वीर अगर आप देखेंगे तो एक तरफ पुलिस की तरफ से पूरा बैरिकेडिंग किया गया है, पुलिस की तरफ से पूरा जो एरिया को घेर लिया गया है। पुलिस किसी भी तरीके से ये जगह को छोड़ने के लिए राजी नहीं था। कुछ देर पहले संजय रॉय को कोर्ट रूम से बाहर लेके आया गया है, कोर्ट रूम से उनको जेल के तरफ ले जाया गया है। पुलिस का पूरा जो कॉन्वॉय करके उनको ले जाया गया है और पूरा जो सिक्योरिटी मेजरमेंट वो रखा गया है। पूरा फिलहाल जो इस एरिया को पूरा घेर के रखा गया है। और जो कोर्ट की तरफ से जो फैसला सुनाया गया है उसको लेकर भी बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में बहुत सारे सवाल है। क्योंकि एक तरफ लोगों के मन में सवाल है, क्या संजय रॉय अकेला बंदा है कि ये पूरा जुर्म को अंजाम देने पर? क्या सीबीआई का इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जैसे संदीप घोष और अभिजीत मंडल को गिरफ्तार किया गया था, क्यों उनके खिलाफ में कोई चार्जशीट पेश नहीं किया गया? इस तरीके का सवाल भी बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में है। और वो सवाल लेकर ही अभी शियालदा कोर्ट में बहुत सारे लोग आए हैं। शियालदा कोर्ट में अभी जो फैसला सुनाया गया है, दोषी जिस तरीके से ठहराया गया है, उसको नजर रखते हुए सबका नजर इससे ऊपर था कि संजय रॉय क्या अकेला बंदा है। अभी जो 162 पेज का जो फैसला सुनाया गया है, वो फैसला में और कौन से दिख है उसके ऊपर भी नजर रखना पड़ेगा।
Alright. Chaliye, let's also bring in Dr. Kiya Gupta, Senior Medical Officer at the Department of Gastro and Tagore Hospital. Dr. Gupta, if you can hear me, thank you for joining us. Dr. Kiya Gupta, your first reactions post this verdict?
We are not satisfied, not the doctor community, neither the people of Calcutta. Because like someone was saying, the brutal murder of Abhaya was also very brutally murdered. 27 injury marks. Instead of tears coming out of her eyes, blood came out, which means a tremendous amount of pressure was put on her trachea to stifle her. Okay, and all this done by one thin Sanjay Roy, whereas Abhaya was quite a healthy girl of 31 years of age. So altogether, we are not convinced, and we don't know.
What was your expectation, ma'am? What was your expectation?
Well, we expected because you see, he's just a civic volunteer, and we had seen the amount, the extent, the authorities went to cover up the whole crime. They shifted the crime scenario. They brought it to the seminar room when the crime was as per CBI's own commitment, the crime was not committed there overall. And then that room too, that seminar room, there were attempts to break that up. All this has created quite some doubt in our minds and quite a lot of disparities. So you understand, just to cover up a civic volunteer. I mean, this is kind of very, very absurd at this point of time to us. But anyway, he might have been there, obviously. I'm not casting any doubt on the Honorable Court, but we are not satisfied with the investigation. We are not satisfied with what the result has come out. And perhaps the court is bound by what has been placed in front of it. But we, as the people and the doctor community, we don't think justice has been delivered properly.
Okay, all right. Well, the court says that the BNS sections 64, 66, 103/1 have been framed against the accused. There is a complaint against the accused that he went to Arjikar Medical College and Hospital and went to the seminar room, assaulted and murdered the lady doctor. And this is the case that has been made against the accused. Sambhav Sharma, my colleague, is joining us live at this point in time to give us the latest updates. Sambhav?
Well, yes. And now that the verdict is out, and Sanjay Roy has been convicted by a sessions court in Kolkata, that is the Sialdah court. And the quantum of punishment is to be given by the Sialdah court on Monday. Things are quite clear now. Sanjay Roy is a convict as per the law of the land. And also the way this the whole case, this Arjikar rape and murder case has gained the momentum, especially after the Supreme Court's intervention, when the Supreme Court has taken a suo motu cognizance of the matter. On 18th of August, the Central Bureau of Investigation investigated the matter. Asked, there were 50 or more than 50 people who were questioned, who were grilled, and finally, the CBI had filed the charge sheet, and the court had reserved the verdict in this matter on January 18th, and now on January 8th, the court has reserved the judgment. On January 18th, the court has finally pronounced the judgment. Now it is to be seen what legal remedies Sanjay Roy seeks next. Is he going for the High Court, or will he come to the Supreme Court? And what happens next? It is to be seen in this matter.
All right, Sambhav, thank you for that. In fact, it's a big day in this case today. I'm going to go up to the big screen and in fact try and explain what exactly are some of the charges that have been used and framed against Sanjay Roy, and why was he found guilty, and why is it important to understand that Section 64 talks about punishment for rape. It's rigorous imprisonment for not less than 10 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to fine, and it's a non-bailable offence. Sanjay Roy has been proven guilty. The punishment for causing death or resulting in permanent vegetative state of the victim. Rigorous imprisonment is what that attracts for not less than 20 years, for which it may be extended to imprisonment for life, and again it's non-bailable. The possibility of parole or any other leeway is very, very minimal. The Section 103 of the BNS is also, of course, talking about murder here, which exactly did happen in this case. Whoever commits murder shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to a fine. So we really don't know what the pronouncement is going to be on Monday, but by the looks of it and the sections that we have read out so far, it is very, very evident, it's very clear that this is a case which does attract all of these three, because obviously this was a gruesome rape followed by a gruesome murder at that, and there was an entire machinery which initially collapsed in trying to figure out what really happened. Mr. Siddharth Luthra, senior advocate, is joining us on the broadcast to give his take on this. Mr. Luthra, I hope you can hear me, sir. Thank you for joining us and speaking with Newsx. Your initial reactions to the verdict in this case. Of course, the quantum of punishment is going to be coming forth on Monday at 12:30 p.m.
Right. So just to tell you, this is the first stage of any conviction process where the conviction has happened, as you have informed your viewers, that it's happened for specific offences for which he was charged. The sentencing is the second aspect, and that is yet to be determined. That's based on the individual circumstances and the circumstances of the crime, both. So that exercise is yet to take place. Of course, we must keep in mind that despite this being the conviction today, he has the right of appeal to the High Court, and thereafter a possible challenge in the Supreme Court, depending on what the outcome in the High Court is. So the only thing which we have to note is that this is one of those trials which has taken place at fairly fast speed, and for that we must acknowledge the fact that there has been the court has acted with expedition, as it should act in every case, not just high-profile cases, as also the fact that there has been a effective prosecution, though I understand that the trial court judges passed some observations regarding the investigation as also the conduct of the superintendent and the other establishment members of the hospital. So that's my take on it.
And Mr. Luthra, this is also an important case. When I say important, I meant in terms of the kind of pressures that were seen politically as well as socially in making sure that justice is served. How do you react to that?
So I'll tell you what, it works both ways. In this case, there are pressures which have, political and social pressures which have worked in a certain way, and there is a conviction. But we must also keep in mind that there is, to every accused, however heinous the crime may be, there is a presumption of innocence at the beginning of the trial. Today, of course, that presumption has been rebutted by a conviction, but that is always the presumption. And therefore, I always say this, that we should not, our system should reach a level of fairness where we do not need extraneous pressures to ensure that the cause of justice is served.
Mr. Luthra, how does this create a deterrent for future transgressors when it comes to rape and murder? There have been such gruesome crimes in the past as well. They really haven't deterred people from committing such crimes, and of course the lengthiness of the justice system has also contributed towards the apathy in the system. Do you think that this was an expeditious decision, and perhaps the delay that we see in most cases was not found in this one?
Yes, of course, this was an expeditious decision and there was no delay. In fact, I will tell you, let's go back to the Nirbhaya trial. In the Nirbhaya trial, you know what happened. Matter went to the Supreme Court, and in 2017, the 2012 incident culminated in 2017 with an affirmation of the death sentence by the Supreme Court. Having said that, eventually we must understand our social structures are such that crime is going to happen in any society. It's not just about India, but anywhere in the world. What we have to work at is at effective, preventive, scientific policing. Till that happens, you will not be able to reduce the amount of crime. Crime cannot be extinguished. That is unfortunately one aberrant part of human nature. But we must work at through education. If you look at the Nirbhaya case, Justice Bhanumati's opinion, she said, look, you have to start counseling and educating children from school so that you sensitize them to what is ethically correct, what is not, what is legally correct, what is not. We are not doing that as a society. That has to begin at school and as also at the home. And once we do that exercise and we have effective preventive policing, we have effective investigation, you will ensure that crimes don't happen. The third part you already addressed, that there should be effective prosecution, expeditious prosecutions in a Nirbhaya case or an RG car are those exceptional cases where prosecutions have happened at, if I may say, breakneck speed, which should be the normal course in all such cases.
Mr. Luthra, what happens now? Of course, we all know there is a chronology of appeals that is going to be followed through. Is that also a dampener in such cases? Because obviously, all of these appeals do take an exhaustive amount of time.
So again, there is a divergence on that because, as I said, Nirbhaya happened between 12 to 17, everything was over. Similarly, this case, you had a trial which has gone very expeditious. The Code of Criminal Procedure, the BNSS as it's now restructured, talks about a day-to-day trial. We have to achieve that ideal. There's only Kerala which does it, other states don't have it, but we have to achieve that ideal, number one. Number two, there is first going to be a sentencing process. Only once the sentencing process is clear will we move to the next stage, which is the appellate process. So till the sentencing is done, which should be done shortly whenever the court determines it, thereafter, if the sentence is not to the satisfaction of the prosecution of the victims, there will be a challenge. If it is to their satisfaction, let us say it's the maximum sentence, then there will be no challenge by the state, but the accused definitely has a right to a challenge. In the event of a death sentence, there will be a reference made and the High Court will have to decide, two judges of the High Court will have to decide whether it's a fit case for death or not, or life, or even if the conviction is valid. So that's an exercise which is yet to take place, and that exercise should take place at the sentence at the High Court level. After the High Court, depending on the outcome, there is a challenge by way of an SLP which is not an appeal. But if there is merit, if either of the parties can point out that there is a flaw in the High Court decision or in the trial court decision which has not been corrected by the High Court, then you can have a special petition which will then become an appeal. So that is the legal position.
Mr. Luthra, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. All right, some breaking news coming in. Well, the victim's father broke down in tears after hearing the verdict. He said to the court that they have given full credit to the trust that was placed in them. And obviously, this is a sensitive matter for any father, any family member who have been obviously tormented by the proceedings in this case as well. Dr. Kia Gupta is still with us on the program. Dr. Kia Gupta, well, your last thought to me was that you were not pleased with the outcome of the case and the verdict, but the quantum, ma'am, is going to be decided on Monday, and I've already highlighted on the big screen as to where this quantum could go. What aspect of this are you dissatisfied with, ma'am?
I think Sanjay Roy is a culprit and he should be punished. But it was not his job alone. The quantum of the crime shows there were others involved.
So are you saying that he's being made a scapegoat?
No, not exactly a scapegoat. I think he was there. Just one of them. He's just one of them, the one with the least amount of power wielding capacity. There are others, I think, who are involved who were big enough to cover themselves up, to cover their tracks up. And the whole of West Bengal is not satisfied because we expected some other very important people to be taken into custody, if not for the crime, for covering up of the evidence which we all saw. So, as a matter of fact, I think that portion has not been dealt with. And in a way, we are also a bit confused how that man can give 27 stab injuries and other kind of injuries to the girl, along with raping her, though they did not find conclusive evidence of rape, and strangling her all at once without any other associates in the crime. So we think, at least a lot of us think, and mainly the doctor community think, that partial judgment has been given. We did not get the full judgment.
Let me open Tanuj Dixit. Tanuj, do you think that there was scope for more parties to be implicated in this entire episode?
See, we have a question left over here that there was the semen report which was telling that 150 grams of semen have been found under the victim's postmortem. So, I don't know, but being an advocate, I understand this semen could not be of a single person. Still, that the Sealdah Session Court Judge Anirban Das is already delivered the judgment today, but he have convicted Sanjay Roy, but he will pronounce his judgment on Monday. See, after 162 days and after the duty of a PGT intern was found brutally raped and murdered on the hospital premises, it was such a thing which, after it took over a case from Kolkata police on August 13, the central agency recorded the statement of the more than 120 witnesses during the 66-day in the camera trial, and the CBI counsel railed heavily in the biological evidence, DNA samples, viscera and toxicology reports as well. Apart from the beyond this Lloyd voice analysis to establish the Roy as the perpetrator of the crime. But I personally think that there might be more people who get involved on all those things. But I don't know, because see, we have a statement from the victim's father. He said that there were bitten on the his daughter neck, but a swab was not collected from there. In the post-mortem report, there was no concrete evidence. CBI is not trying much. There is someone involved in this. This is the statement of the victim's father. In DNA report, it can be seen that the 4 men and the 2 women were present there. We want all the people involved this to be punished, but there is only a single person who is getting this judgment today. So it's really a big question that the culprit has been definitely getting punished by the court, but still there are what about those other people which are not?
Well, at this point in time, Dr. D.R. Rai, former Secretary General of the IMA, also joins us on the show. Dr. Rai, appreciate you taking out the time, sir, and speaking with us at such short notice. Sir, your first impressions of what's transpired in this Sialda court?
Through the report, whatever has come over there, but whatever has happened at RG Medical College about 6 months back, we are well acquainted with that, and we have been debating on the TV also about that case. Because
so could you please turn your camera on, sir? Could you please turn your camera on, sir? I cannot see you.
Okay.
Go on, sir.
Okay.
Go on, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry. As far as the today's judgment or whatever the report has come, it has not come in our notice at present. But whatever happened at RG Medical College about few months back, and there was a lot of halla gulla in Bengal, in Kolkata, and all over the country, because Indian Medical Association also joined in that way, and all the junior doctors, because the thing with the first reports were coming very, very disturbing and very misleading, I will say. Only one person was labeled that he's the Sanjay Roy is the only person who is the culprit. But I don't think, I'm not challenging the court's judgment at all. Again, I'm using the word, and I don't have any right to challenge the court. But whatever we have seen or whatever we have heard at that time, it's not possible only one person will be there. There must be few persons who are involved in that. And until unless the report is not there, it's very difficult to say. But anyway, if the justice should be done, and the person, our young doctor who was expired, who was brutally killed and raped, it was a very, very shameful act on the society also and on the medical fraternity. So anyway, we appreciate to the court, but let us see the complete report. How many other persons have been specified that they are also culprit? Only one name is coming, that is Sanjay Roy. Rest I don't know, so I am not in the position to comment at all.
So you very rightly said that the medical community was also concerned about this particular crime. Do you think that this verdict now, of which the quantum is going to be pronounced on Monday, also serves as some sort of a closure to those apprehensions?
I don't think it will be closer, but as a medical fraternity, we have been asking to the central government and even all the state governments also, the proper protection should be provided to the doctors. And doctors are round the clock, they are serving the humanity in very, very odd conditions also. If they are being assaulted or they are, they have been abused or manhandled, whatever is the word, it's very, very unfortunate on the part of the society also. For that, we are asking the central law also. We are asking the total protection should be provided at the emergency levels or at the hospital levels, so that no goons can come inside and assault the doctors. So our demand is still there. Well, if the court is giving judgment, we are going to welcome that also, and they have labeled it. But still, the demand of Indian medical associations are there. We want to serve the community, to the fraternity, to the community and public at large with the confidence in a cordial manner. So we want the protection.
All right, sir. Appreciate you joining us. Well, on that note, we're going to continue our coverage of this important verdict. But right now, it's time for a short break. Be right back.